Hey there everyone, this is Jackie Bolin from My Life Teaching in a Korean University, and today I'm going to talk about the top university jobs in Korea. What are some of the characteristics of those jobs? So the first thing I'll mention is the vacation. At the best uni jobs, you'll get 4 to 5 months of paid vacation. Even better is if there are some optional overtime opportunities during those periods. The worst places will have mandatory camps or just mandatory teaching hours or something like that, but it will be unpaid. Kind of the middle ground is that there is some sort of mandatory thing, but that you're paid overtime for it, which actually isn't that terrible, and I would probably still take that job. The next thing that I'll talk about is the salary and housing allowance, or housing that is provided. So it should total around 3 or 3.5 million Korean won for the top jobs. So for example, if your salary is maybe 3 million, but they give you 500,000 housing allowance, then it's 3.5. Or if you live in Seoul and they provide a decent place to live, but your salary is 2.7 or 2.8, I would consider that around 3.5 million in a total salary package. The lowest tier jobs will have a total maybe around 2 or 2.5 million. Probably 2 is really low actually, but the lowest level jobs will maybe offer 2 million salary and then something like 300,000 for housing allowance or free housing, which actually is not fabulous. The next thing is the working schedule and the working hours. So the top jobs, you'll work 3 to 4 days a week and you'll have 9 to 12 teaching hours a week. At the bottom level jobs, you'll be working 5 days a week and you could have up to 20 hours of teaching hours, which is actually quite a lot for a university. The next thing is the office. So if you have a private office, that is a big score. At my last uni job for 5 years, I had my own private office and I loved it. And then the next best thing, which I have now, is sharing an office with maybe 1 or 2 other people, which can be pretty decent, especially if you have your own computer. And the worst thing is having 30 or 40 or 50 foreign teachers all put in little cubicles in a big room together. Getting work done in that situation is almost impossible. And the next thing is overtime opportunities. So if there are legal overtime opportunities through your school, that's perfect actually. The other good thing is if they give you permission to do outside work legally, so you can go to immigration and add a second job to your visa. The worst thing is if there are no opportunities at your school to make more money, and also they don't give you permission to do outside work. So you're just basically stuck at the salary you're at and there's no way to make a lot of money. But actually, if you work at a university job in South Korea, you do have a lot of time to do overtime and it is really possible to make a lot more money. And finally, the best uni jobs are in Seoul or Busan. Those are the 2 cities that people really, really want to live in for good reason. Seoul has everything, Busan has the beaches. The other big cities actually like Daejeon or Daegu or Gwangju are not as fabulous, obviously, as Seoul or Busan. And then, of course, there's the universities out in the countryside. So I lived in the rice paddies working at a university in Chungcheongnam-do for 5 years, and I loved it. But I mean, there just wasn't a lot to do. We were quite literally in the rice paddies, and it was an interesting experience, and I don't regret it. But since I moved to Busan, I've been much happier, and yeah, I would never go back to living in the countryside again. Alright, so if you need some more tips on how to get a university job in South Korea, go on over to Amazon and check out how to get a university job in South Korea. And also you can find me at my blog, My Life Teaching in a Korean University, eslteacherinkorea.blogspot.com. I'll put the links to both of those things in the notes below. Good luck on your job search.